On this demonstration, we will talk about hours of service, your logbook. At this point, both drivers are already logged in. From the home key, click hours of service.
You have 7 hours and 50 minutes of remaining drive time.
This unit will constantly be updating you on how much drive time you have available. Please listen to the unit, as this unit will not give you any false information as long as you're putting the information in correctly. From this screen, you have your home key, which at any time you can go home.
You have 7 hours and 49 minutes of remaining drive time.
Anytime you need to type up anything, keyboard icon, click on it, keyboard will pop up. Click on any field you need to fill in. Minimize your keyboard when you're done. Right underneath the keyboard, you have no good name. It's just a test name for practice purposes. At any time, you can click on here and change from one driver to another's logbook. So right now we're looking at this person's logbook. Status tab, summary tab, graph, day log, 8 day, approve, and load. Every single tab has its purpose, and we'll go through each individually. On your status tab, status is on duty. This is your current status. Okay, you cannot pre-status anything in the future. You can edit your previous status as long as it's non-driving related. Start status, now current time right now. Duration on your current status. Your last 34-hour restart. Your next 34-hour start. This is your eligibility based off the 7-day period. Hours to be gained tomorrow. Hours to be gained 2 days from now. Total miles driven today. This hours to be gained tomorrow and 2 days is extremely important, especially if you're low on hours. At any time you can change your status. Please remember, when you log in, when you stop the truck, the unit will always put you on duty. Doesn't matter if you're active or non-active driver. So please remember that. If you need to edit this status, you can at any time. I'll explain that later. To change your status, bottom right tab, change. Click on it. Now you will have 5 different options if you're the active driver. If you're the non-active driver, you'll only have 3 options. Off is for off-duty. SB is for sleeper berth. DRV is for driving. You will never have to put driving on this unit, as the active driver will automatically go into driving when the unit isn't moving. On is for on duty, not driving. Please remember, this device will always put you on this status when you log in or come to a full stop with the tractor. Off DRV is off-duty driving. This purpose is for only bobtail, meaning that you're not getting paid, you're bobtailing without a load. Let's say you're going down to a restaurant, truck stop down the street, or just going around the yard for whatever purpose. As soon as you leave the yard, if you're under a load, you cannot be on off-duty driving whatsoever. If you're caught off-duty driving under a load, DLT will cite you, shut you down, and FedEx will possibly DQ you. So please, no off-duty driving unless you're bobtailing off a load. At this point, I want to go off-duty. You will click off-duty. Remarks. This you can type in any information you wish to type. Pull up your keyboard. You can type in brake. Minimize your keyboard, hit OK. Now my current status is off duty. You can change to any status at any time as you need to. So if you need to fuel, you can click on duty, or you're doing your pre-trip. So pre, TI, or fuel, whatever your situation may be. You can put any remarks that you need to in this column. Minimize your keyboard and hit OK. Okay, for this purpose, I'm going to switch myself back to off duty. The next tab is your summary tab. This is a good reference point for your 8-hour rule, 11-hour rule, 14-hour rule, and 70-hour rule. You'll notice on the top right here, it says DOT 743. That's how much time you have left of driving to your next violation. The summary tab is where you're going to find out which is your next violation. Basically, whatever the lowest number is your next violation. Obviously, your 8-hour break. Okay, as soon as you go on duty, this clock will start going down until you have a 30-minute off-duty break. Please remember, your break needs to be 30 minutes minimum. It cannot be 29 minutes. If it's 29 minutes and the truck starts moving, it does not complete the break. It does not give you your 8-hour rest break. You're going to have to stop for 30 minutes later on. At any time, you can click on this. As soon as this bar fills back up on your 8-hour break, that means you've completed your 30-minute break. 11-hour rule is obviously for your 11 hours of driving. You're allowed to drive a total of 11 hours. Your 14-hour rule applies to your 11-hour rule, which states as soon as you start to work, you have 14 hours to drive your 11-hour shift. If you take too many breaks, hook up too many times, or any situation where you hit your 14 hours and you have not completed your 11 hours of driving, you cannot drive anymore. You need to have your 10 hours off. Your 70-hour is for your 8-day work week. This applies for on-duty time as well as driving time. This is why it's very important that you keep your on-duty time to a minimum and make your driving time most efficient as possible. Your graph tab is what you're more used to.